Aggressive Realty Show. My name is Ken Temborski. I am the owner and the broker of Aggressive Realty. Joined today by Helen. Helen is from the Early-Polli agency. We're going to talk today a little bit about insurance, homeowners insurance, and why it's so important that when you buy a home, your insurance has to come with us to the bank when we do that closing. Helen, welcome to the show today.
Hi, thanks Ken, thanks for having us on today.
Tell me, what makes it so fun to meet new people, especially young people, when they're out to buy a home, whether they're young, middle-aged, or when they want to buy that dream?
Well, it's always exciting to buy a new home. I've been there many times. I have the experience of being a homeowner time and time again. Now as an insurance agent, it's been more than 9 years now that I've been with the agency. It's just always such a pleasure, and it's exciting when you can share that experience with the client, explain to them how important the coverage is to them and why they need what they need, because they really should understand what their coverage is for and what it's about.
So in other words, because it's mandatory when you buy a home to bring this insurance and you have to have the binder, it's so important to sit down and explain that to them, and they know what they're getting for their money. One of the biggest things that I've learned in this business of it's very important to have an agent who is there with you when you have a claim, when you have a problem. Somebody that's going to stand by your side. I think we talked about it a little bit ago. We had a major loss one time. The Lantern Lane building burned. Right. And it was amazing that Brian Early was there with me at the fire. He stayed with me at the fire. He did everything that he possibly could, and I didn't need to get anybody else involved. I didn't need to have anybody else. He actually represented me to the best of his ability as the Early-Polli agency.
Absolutely, and that is the importance. Just one thing that's so important about having an agent, a local agent, someone that we're not just there to say, okay, here's your homeowner's policy, here's the proof of insurance for the bank, nice to meet you. No, that's just the beginning. We're there to stay with you through the process from start to finish to your next home, the home beyond, a claim. I know Brian was there with you 2, 3 in the morning, making sure that anything you needed, we were there.
Yes.
And it's very important to know that you're there for your client and you're there to support them. Pick up the phone, call us. I have a question. There are no stupid questions.
Let's talk about a little bit about, and you said before that you were involved in buying and selling a home. Can we have had a couple dealings together. Can you talk about Aggressive Realty a little bit?
Oh, sure, absolutely. It's going on 4 years, I guess. My husband and I decided, our boys were growing out of the house. It's time to maybe move closer to work. We don't need the home any longer. Let's just, downsize a little bit. We tried for a little while, almost, I wouldn't say quite a year. Didn't have too much success, and it was actually Brian who said, and we should have started right from the beginning with your agency.
Well, there's a lot of good agencies out there.
Absolutely, and it just wasn't our time. But when we signed up with you, I believe it was 4 years ago, March, you had our first home sold by May, helped us find a home in June, and then we had the unfortunate experience of I had a family member pass away.
I'm sorry.
And I became the executor of their estate. And unfortunately, there was a reverse mortgage, and when you have that, you've got a certain time period to sell that house or you lose it.
Yes.
And I came to you and I said, Kenny, I know we're in the middle of selling, buying, but now I have a third instance where I need your help. And you jumped right in, and between May and September, 3 homes bought and sold. And you made it such an easy experience. And that's what we try to do for our clients as well when it comes to the insurance portion of it.
Well, it kind of complements each other, and that's what makes these relationships so good between the attorneys, between the insurance companies, between the real estate. We try to do everything, even with the repairs. One of the hottest things right now, and I tell everybody, don't hesitate. Even if it's not a question you're ready to buy, you're ready to sell, you're ready to do anything, call us. That's what we're there for. Call me. If I don't get back to you, I will get back to you within a day. Leave a message for Ken. I will get back to you. I'll answer any of your questions. I'll give you suggestions, which by law, that's what my job is to do, is give you suggestions where to go. look at some competitive rates. Like example, right now, we just had another incident. We do property management. We do rentals. We go out. We do the credit checks. We do the eviction checks. We do all part of it. One of the things that we insist on and we make it mandatory is that you take renter's insurance.
Yes, and you're doing the client a great service by doing that.
Why? Tell them what happens if they don't have renter's insurance.
Well, it's not just about their stuff, and most people have the conception that renter's insurance is just about their property. And it is. I mean, the main portion of the insurance is about their contents, their furniture, appliances, clothing, electronics, right down to a pair of eyeglasses. If you lost everything, and I hope that never happens, but if you do, you have the peace of mind of having that renter's insurance, because now how do you replace everything you own and just buy it all in one group and just get it all back?
Right.
It's expensive.
One of the things that I've seen in our fire and with doing property management is people don't realize how much they do have.
Exactly.
Not only what they have and they lose. Example, we had one where a little toddler turned the tub on.
Yes.
The ducky was blocking the hole. It overflowed and went down to the first floor.
And we say it all the time, accidents happen. And everyone thinks, oh, I've had my homeowners, or I've been renting for 30 years, I've never had a problem. I hope you don't.
Well, that's why it's so important. It's so important if you're renting a home and you want that credit check, you want that criminal check, you want that eviction check. You want to go with somebody that's going to write that lease that's right. They're going to follow up on it. They're going to talk to you. They're going to do the repairs if you want property management done, where we collect the money and we give it and we send you the check and we do all the work involved, including the night calls. And then the most important thing is that we have an agency like the Early-Polli agency that we contact or for a minor cost of renter's insurance. It's such a major thing. We can go back to them and say we had an example with this little toddler with the overflowed tub. It damaged the first floor, about $1,900 of damage. That's what they're there for. Just come up and stand next to you, go look at the problem, and they actually paid the landlord so that the tenant's not responsible.
Correct. And then the tenant, I mean, how would you if you damage someone's property? And that's what a renters or a homeowners will do. It's not just your contents, there's the liability portion.
Good point.
Whether you hurt someone, damage someone's property, not just at your home because the tub overflowed or someone tripped on your sidewalk, anywhere in the world. If you hurt someone, damage someone's property, you're covered. That liability protection is there. The insurance company is there to take care of things for you. You have that peace of mind of knowing if something should happen, I'm covered.
Great. We're going to go back right now. We're going to go back and we're going to talk buying a home, how important it is, and we're going to talk about property management. We're going to talk about student housing in the Bloomsburg area for students that Aggressive does. Thank you. See you in a minute. Welcome back to Aggressive Realty. Aggressive Realty is a new show that's been on, and we're going to talk about banking. We're going to talk about insurance. We're going to talk about real estate law. We're going to talk about buying and selling, what's so important in a home. One of the hottest things right now is singles, half doubles, apartment buildings, double homes. They seem to be one of the hottest commodities right now, being half doubles and doubles. Apartment houses, income producing properties. Again, Aggressive Realty has 14 agents. We are staffed from 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, Saturdays till 9 to 12. Plus we do special appointments. If you have a home to sell, you have something that you want to do, you want to have something you want to talk about, you want to have one of us come out and take a look at it, give you some suggestions, even just to give you some numbers, that's free. That's a CMA, it's a comparable market analysis. We'll come out and we'll give you some numbers. If you decide to list, that's great, but we're there to help you first. Helen, let's talk about college rentals. We represent about 30 properties down in the Bloomsburg area for college rentals. I know that one of the things that we looked at was insurance.
Correct.
Do you do student insurance, student housing?
We can. There are many markets that we can approach for any type of insurance. And every building, every property, every client is unique. And the policy should be tailored to that person's needs and what that property is about.
If you got a student going to the Bloomsburg College, please give Aggressive a call. We do housing for 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom, 4 bedroom. We do individual housing for the college semesters. It includes parking, includes washer, dryer, laundry rooms, kind of everything. They can bring their own car. So things, Aggressive Realty gets into a lot of things. We kind of go into a lot of the property management. We go into the rentals. We go into the sales. If you want to list your house, call us. If you want to look at selling your home, call us. If you want to buy a home, call us. We'll get you pre-qualified. We'll give you suggestions on banks. We'll walk you right through the process, including inspections. Everybody should ask for an inspection. Example, on a radon inspection, the legal limit in the state of Pennsylvania is 4.0. After 4.0, you have the right to request a mitigation system. There are a lot of good companies that put mitigation systems in. They run anywhere from $950 to $1,100 to be put in. Very good idea. They drill a 4-inch hole into the foundation, and they basically put a pump that just sucks the air right out of underneath the ground. The reason for radon now is a house is made with tie-back. It's made with double pane, triple pane glass. Houses are very airproof. So what happens is a house can't breathe no more. The gases build up from the cracks in the floor in the basement, maybe where the sub pump is. The gases build up in the house. They don't breathe no more. So it's very important to have a radon check done. And radon changes. So just because you had it now doesn't mean you're not going to have it 5 years from now.
Right. I remember that through the process working with you and your agency, and you taking us through step by step through all the inspections and everything that needed to be done, not just to sell, but to buy too.
Yes, it's very important because, again, if you have a high radon count, they attribute it towards cancer. But what we do is we want to complement that. We want to make sure that if that's going to be your home and that's your dream, it should be happy from start to finish. Right. I think it's real important to understand the way radon is and what radon does. It's very important to do an inspection on a home. There are very qualified state inspectors certified that we send out. When you buy that home, you have usually 10-day standard, 15 days we usually mark, that we go out and we suggest 2 or 3 or 4 people. You pick who you want. They go out and they do a full inspection. They do the inspection of the home and then they see what's wrong. And they give you pictures. They give you a report. Then we sit together and we sit down and we look at the report. Now that is negotiable between a buyer and a seller. So when you look at these things and you'll see a summary and then you can match up a picture of what's the problem. We sit there and then we'll do a reply to inspections. Then we pass it back to the other agent and it's up to them to sit with their people and come up with something that could work for both parties. Then you get into what's called a WDI. WDI is your wood infestation, meaning a pest inspection. We have a qualified pest inspector that goes out and looks at the problems, goes out and inspects the houses for termites, ants, carpenter ants. The difference between a termite and a carpenter ant. A carpenter ant, you'll see it chew and it will drop you'll see a little pile in places. Okay, the termite eats the wood, where a carpenter ant drops it in little piles. So it's very important to know the difference on what you have, and it should be looked at before you buy that house. If you have that problem, you have termite tubes or frasks, or you could see your carpenter ants, you have that taken care of.
And you walked us through that whole process in our sale and our purchase. And again, it gave you peace of mind knowing that you were there to review, point out, suggest, and it just makes it seamless. So when you come up to your day of closing, you're set.
And we do a walkthrough before we go to closing,
right,
that hour before, to make sure everything is perfect. That inspection even does electrical, it does your appliances, it does your heating system, it does all the major things. When you sold your house, how did you feel when it was done? Did you feel that relief?
We did, but at the same time, your agency walked us through, took us step by step, and it wasn't just, oh, well, here's the inspection and here's what's wrong. No, you sat down and said, here's what we can do. And once we got to the closing, it just seemed just seamless. And you do run into a little bump here or there, but again, that's what you're there for, to call. Anytime I called you, you got right back to me. If we had something to discuss, we came down to the agency, we sat down, reviewed everything. But yeah, it was a relief to know that you had that support. And we were just very, very grateful for all that, not just you and your staff, put into helping us.
That's the difference in Aggressive Realty. Aggressive Realty tries to do from start to finish. It will be there with you. If you have a problem, you can call. Now, I got to be honest with you, it's gotten to the point where we're busy. Sometimes I can't get right back to you for a little bit, but I will get back to you by the next day. I'm usually on the road all day, so I get the messages at night and I'll call back the next day, unless it's late. But it's very important to have an agent, and there's a lot of great agencies in our area. We're not the only one.
Right.
We get along great with most agencies, and you should not be afraid to call a reputable company. They should all do the same things that we're doing. And when we come back, we're going to talk about banking. We're going to talk about bank rates. And let's see where they're at right now, what it takes to buy a house. Thank you. Welcome back to the Aggressive Realty Show. Something new for the area that's going to talk a lot about housing. One of the things that Aggressive Realty does is we do a lot of land sales. We do a lot of commercial sales. We do a lot of house sales. If you're looking to buy a business, if you're looking to buy a piece of land, we're here to help you with that. Example, we have buildings for sale all over. We have the post office down on Broad Street. We have the Juan Pedro's on Alta Street. We have Richie's on 15th Street. You want a beer license, you want a liquor license, you can call us. We can locate you one. One of the things is our staff is educated in multiple tasks. They're not just in housing. Don't hesitate to call us for a rental. Don't hesitate to call us to rent your property so that you know that you're getting the right tenant that's getting checked out. You don't need to do an eviction. You don't need to to get people out. We need to find the right client for your space. Helen, let's talk about a few other things. Let's talk about banks. I know the bank interest rates are going up right now. Right now you're looking at, actually the Feds are going to meet again, I believe it's this week. Construction was up 27%, even though mortgages were down 2%. Jobs were up 204,000 this month, which gives you a big people are going to come to you more. Tell me about the difference in insurances when you got to go. How long should they come to you before they buy that home?
As soon as they get their approval from the bank, you want to come to us right away, because we want to make sure we insure the property correctly, because every property is unique. The type of property, for instance, most people don't realize there are companies out there that can give you guaranteed replacement cost versus replacement cost. And the difference is, if we insure your home for $250,000 at replacement cost, you will get up to that limit. But what if it costs more to rebuild your home? Then you'll want guaranteed replacement cost. Then you're going to get anything or 100% above that $250,000 to restore your home in exactly the state it was prior to loss.
So in other words, the two differences, replacement is replacement, but guaranteed replacement is different than replacement.
Whatever it takes to get you to exactly the state that property was prior to
Okay,
loss.
over 10 years, that house went up to $350,000. When they bought it, it was $200,000. So if they had guaranteed replacement, that means up to the $350,000 to replace the exact home is what you would do if you buy the right insurance.
Correct. And that, again, the benefit of having your agent. Don't hesitate to ever pick up the phone, call your agent. Especially every year when you get your renewal, that's the time to look, because as your life changes, so should your insurance. And it's very important to make sure you have enough. because that's what gives you that peace of mind.
There's a saying out there that if you group your auto insurance with your homeowner's insurance, there's a major discount. Is that true?
Very much so. Even with a renter's policy, and people are surprised too by how it'll discount their auto policy. It's called the multi-policy discount. And it makes a big advantage. And many times when someone calls us for a policy and we show them the option and availability of what else is out there, because it's not about selling them another policy. It's about the advantage of the discount and more coverage. So you're going to save money, but have better and more coverage.
As we started off with talking about the bankings, one of the biggest things is people in misconception is to use that, go get new credit cards, go take the interest-free at the furniture store, go take appliances. When you go to buy a home or you're getting ready to buy a home, you should not spend nothing. Reasoning is, if you hit your credit more than 3 times in a month, it's called VICA points. You lose points. Even with insurance, it's very important because that's checked. If you're a risk, you pay more. So you have to take a look at that. The banks will not lend money based upon under a 640 credit score. Now, there are some exceptions with a 620 that you can buy a home, but it's very important that when you're getting ready to buy that home, you don't make any inquiries, you don't check. Be careful on every bank that you go to and check your credit score. You know, you see these free services, they cost you money. They'll end up costing you at the end. And then when you go under contract, do not go out and look for credit. Wait until your house is done and you know what your budget is and you can afford it. Anybody can buy a house, but not everybody can buy a home.
Right.
It's very important to look at it that way. We have to go into this market with, just because a bank says you're qualified for $250,000, don't spend $250,000.
Right.
Now, listen to me, because I'm saying this because we get paid by commission, by a percentage. I'm saying do not go out and spend that type of money because of the reason of it will hurt you later down the road. Exactly. Go out and spend what you can. Maintain a quality of life that you can enjoy with your family. You're going to have children, and you got to look at if one person gets sick, injured,
absolutely,
which is also do other insurances to cover some of that, correct?
Absolutely. We would make sure that your policy reflects all of your needs. Like you said, for instance, when it comes to, you don't want to overextend. We also don't want you to be overinsured either. We want to make sure you have the right limit for what's best for your budget and is best for your life and for the property, because it is an investment.
When you go out and you look at these people come in and ask for insurance, how do you explain it the same way?
I do. A lot of times people will say to me, and again, great companies out there, great agents out there, but sometimes if you get that person in the right moment and take the time and explain what it means, then they understand why they need it and what the purpose is.
When you can explain it.
Yes.
One of the things with Aggressive Realty is to go out there and don't be afraid to call. It's 570-788-8500. Give a call if you have a question, you have a thought, you want us to suggest and get you pre-approved, we will do that. Don't be afraid to come to us. We will work with you. We're part of an MLS. Any house that's out there, we can sell. The misconception is you can't. We can. We can get into any home to sell. We share our listings with other good companies. At the same time, come to us. We'll start from the beginning. We'll get you pre-qualified. We'll get you out there in the market. We'll get you looking in your budget range of what you can afford and what your likes are. And then as we go on, we'll take you through the whole process. Again, we have 14 agents. We're located at Route 93 in Cunningham. We will take you and suggest to you Early-Polli agency, which number 788-6620. You can ask for Helen, you can ask for Denise, you can ask for Brian, you can ask for Cindy.
Sue, we're a local agency, 5 agents. You not just get one agent, you get all of us.
You have everybody there to help you. So it's very important to go into this good and be happy when you're done. Here at Aggressive Realty, we want to make it work for you. We're all from this area. We want to make sure that you're happy. We do have a Spanish-speaking agent that can help. Don't be afraid to call. We will give you his number, And I want to thank you very much, and I want to thank you, Helen,
you,
today
Ken.
for coming on
It's a pleasure.
with us. And again, don't be afraid to call us for a home rental to sell doubles. Half doubles right now is your hottest commodity, the most money. Again, I want to thank you. Thank you, Helen.
Thank you, Ken.
I
Pleasure.
appreciate you. And next time we'll have a banker on, and we're going to talk more about banking. Have a great day. Thank you.